Finally, the truth about the police murder case and Emmanuel Mbense death is out. IPID senior investigator Masuku has provided the full list of suspects, and top names like JULIUS MKHWANAZI appear on the list. She also spoke at length about shocking incidents that occurred while investigating the death of Emmanuel Mbense.
We advised, amongst the others, that we could not be able to obtain a conviction in circumstances where we are relying solely on the testimony of a single witness, whom himself was a suspect in the murder. The DPP therefore returned the file to us for further investigation.
Do you have it in writing, the DPP's response to your memo?
Commissioners, I was addressing the SC for that, to say, before I came for the consultation, I had it. It's just that unfortunately I asked assistants in the office to make copies for me because I had left the bundle of document on my desk. So when they were making copies, that particular document is no longer there. That means it's being misplaced. But it doesn't mean that I won't be able to find it. It's just that now I don't have it in my possession.
And if I may, as discussed with Ms. Masuku, after this she will try and locate precisely that document and she will file it with a supplementary statement. It's just that she couldn't obtain it at the time now the statement was due. Thank you.
It may even be sought from the DPP if you can't locate your copy.
Indeed, Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner. I will do that during break. If she's in the office, she'll be able to send me. Yes. Thank you.
Please proceed.
As the lead investigator on this matter, we had agreed as a team that warning statements from the suspects would be obtained by the rest of the team members, excluding myself. This was because I dealt with Marius van der Merwe's statements. Therefore, I needed someone who would approach the rest of the suspects without the full knowledge of Marius van der Merwe's version. My other role is to exercise overall control, the coordination, and accountability for the investigation, rather than personally perform every investigation task myself. After the docket was taken for decision for the first time, the DPP offered further directives of a list of instructions that must be carried over before we return the docket back. Some of them was to obtain the warning statements from the rest of these mentioned suspects. So I had to start locating these suspects. As I acknowledge, the investigation was dependent on teamwork. Given the security threats and operational risk prevalent in the area, it was both prudent and necessary for investigators to work collaboratively and to allocate tasks amongst team members. Mr. Makakula's involvement thereof reflects the lawful delegation of functions within the team-based investigation conducted under the authority and direction of the lead investigator.
And in that sense, the lead investigator was yourself?
It was myself,
Thank
Commissioners.
you. Please continue.
Following the incident and during our investigation, we managed to obtain statements from the following suspects that were mentioned by Marius van der Merwe. Commissioners, I will mention the name because their names are known already. We obtained the warning statements from Brigadier Julius MKHWANAZI, Alexandra Zander Fritz, who was an SAPS reservist at Brakpan, but later resigned. Begogwakhe Sibanda, who is a police sergeant at Brakpan Police Station. Juan Marie Exten, based at Flying Squad. Keisha Lee Stolz, who is an MPD constable. Adrian Mackenzie, who's also an MPD constable. And Willem Pretorius, who is a security officer from an unknown company to myself. I struggled to get the witness that the police officers took a statement from, because immediately after the statement was taken, he moved out before the funeral. So he was nowhere to be traced. So for me to open Section 33 based on that, I said to myself, let me do the investigation. Then I will see that later if I locate my witness. But I agree, Commissioner, to say, according to me, they should have reported this matter to IPID.
The complaint should still be laid against them.
That's correct, Commissioners.
Thank you.
And I assume that later you will explain why the tenant disappeared.
I will.
Later.
Yes,
all right,
I will,
right.
Commissioner. When I get there, I will explain.
Thank you, Commissioners. You had testified that in your view, you considered the matter wrongly classified as an inquest, correct?
Yes,
and
that's
that you
correct.
stated your paragraph 21, and you set out the reason as being because the witnesses' allegations of police involvement and where the body was recovered should have militated against such a classification.
That's correct,
And
Commissioners.
I invite you to pick up your story from paragraph 22.
To reclassify the case as a murder case, I visited the Heidelberg Forensic Pathology Services. That was during May 2022 to obtain the postmortem examination report that was going to reflect the cause of death of the deceased. The reason I did this was to confirm first that the deceased didn't die from natural causes. Upon receiving the postmortem report, I noted that it was confirmed by the forensic pathologist, Dr. Stein, that the deceased cause of death was a head injury due to blunt force trauma. This was now confirmation that the deceased didn't die from natural causes. This conclusion will therefore require a reclassification of the case from an inquest to a murder case. This reclassification, together with the witness statement's allegation that the police were implicated, gave me the authority to register the case as an IPID matter.
Before you proceed, for the commissioners, the current version of the statement you have does not attach the post-mortem report. Your files have since been updated. If you could make a note at paragraph.
I was seeking for guidance, but I don't have a problem in mentioning them because we have witness D who already came and mentioned names.
Yes.
So it won't be new.
If you have no difficulty, then please go ahead.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you, Chair.
On the 2nd of May 2022, I received a call from the deceased mother who informed me that there was a white male who identified himself as Zander, then in brackets Fritz, that visited her address at number
Please don't read it out. Yes, thank you.
Few days after her son's funeral. She alleged that Zander informed her that he was investigating a robbery incident involving a truck. The evidence was collected from the deceased mother to support the allegations regarding Zanda's visit. He proceeded to show her a picture of the deceased truck. I'm referring to Zande here. She confirmed that yes, it was Emmanuel's truck, in brackets, goodies. Then that is how the mother was calling him. Hence, I put goodies in brackets and then Emmanuel, the name that is registered on the death certificate. Zande advised her that the truck was under investigation as it was taken from SAPS 13 at Boksbeek. It was taken from SAP 13 at Boksbeek police station. He further stated that no one should drive the truck because they will be arrested and be charged with possession of stolen motor vehicle. There is objective, verifiable evidence to be tendered during trial in court regarding Zanda's visit at the deceased home. I shall point out that in a warning statement obtained from Zande, who was a reservist by then, attached to Brakpan SAPS, thus speaks of a visit he undertook following the incident to the home of the deceased and conversation he had with a lady unnamed he found on the property.
I had understood, good afternoon. I had understood from the previous witness that reservists don't work alone. They accompany police officers when they conduct investigations. Now, from what you are saying here, it looks like Zanda went on his own and did this on his own. Can you just clarify that?
Yes, Commissioner. Here he went alone. He had disguised himself as a member of Hawks because the allegations from the mom are that he was wearing a cap that was written Hawks. That is how he also introduced himself. Even the evidence that will be tendered in court, it proves that, yes, indeed, this is how he introduced himself to the mother. But I stand to be corrected, though, by SAPS to say I don't remember a reservist at the detective's side of SAPS. The reservists, you will find them in visible policing, whereby they wear uniform and work with full-time appointed members. They don't work alone. There must always be a full-time appointed member to guide them. The cause of death was a head injury due to blunt force trauma. This was now confirmation that the deceased didn't die from natural causes. This conclusion will therefore require a reclassification of the case from an inquest to a murder case. This reclassification, together with the witness statement's allegation that the police were implicated, gave me the authority to register the case as an IPID matter.
Before you proceed, for the commissioners, the current version of the statement you have does not attach the post-mortem report. Your files have since been updated. If you could make a note at paragraph 30 that the post-mortem report is now annexure NPM1 Roman 1, starting from page 2.1 onwards in your annexure bundle.
Paragraph 23.
Paragraph 23. There. It's annexure NPM1 bracket Roman 1. Now, Ms. Masuku, I see if you could turn then to the other bundle that's written annexures, and you go to page 2.1, you will see that the documents there are flagged marked NPM1 and following. I want to draw your attention to page NPM1 bracket 1 after NPM1. And that should start at your page 2.1. with the heading Death Register Number, and it gives the details. You see it?
Okay, I see it, Commissioner.
Is that the post-mortem report you say you received then from Dr. Steyn?
That's correct, Commissioner.
It has got a date there for the record. Can you read out the date this report was filed by Dr. Steyn into the record?
It's the 9th of May 2022.
Okay. And you say, according to this document, this report, the death was confirmed not to be natural. And if you could turn to page 2.2 of the same file. Just before the date, the place and date, Heidelberg, there is the cause of death listed there by Dr. Steyn. And could you please read that into the record as well?
Head injury due to blunt trauma.
Thank you. So then at your paragraph 23, you say that as at 9th of May 2022, or shortly thereafter, whenever it is you uplifted the report, you got confirmation that the cause of death wasn't natural.
That's correct, Commissioners.
And then from paragraph 24, rather, you then set out the steps you took, having learned these facts. If you could pick it up from there, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners. I then requested the case docket from Tutuza Police Station, and it was later transferred to Brakpan SAPS. This was going to assist the investigation because my visit to the mortuary confirmed that the deceased was murdered, and the deceased family had previously informed me that the police officers were involved in his murder. It will then become important for me to establish how the deceased ended up at Spaarwater. The docket was then changed from an inquest and registered as a murder investigation under Brakpan Case 429 of 4/2022. I attach as Annexure NPM2 a copy of this docket.
Please continue.
On the 2nd of May 2022, I received a call from the deceased mother, who informed me that there was a white male who identified himself as, sorry, Commissioners, can I just clarify something with the SC?
Oh. Commissioners, perhaps to assist the witness and your deliberations. I was saying to assist the commissioners in their deliberations and the witness.
Yes.
These names are reflected in full in the subsequent reports that are filed. So the commissioners then will guide us as to whether or not the names should be read out, because those reports have been filed with the relevant institutions already.